I wanted to make a video just talking about rates. I think rates are extremely important, especially when you're first starting. You gotta essentially just pick some rates and stick to them. So much of what we do flying FPV is muscle memory, and so if you're changing your rates all the time, you're going to be in trouble. Yeah, pick some rates that make sense for you to start with and just get used to them, stick to them. Experiment maybe in the sim first with some big changes and get a ballpark for what you like, or just straight copy someone else's rates and start from there. I run different rates for freestyle, for racing, and for cinematic. For freestyle, my rates are quite a bit faster, and you don't need rates as fast as mine to do freestyle. I probably would be a lot smoother and more flowy if I had slower rates. But with the rates close to 1,000 like I have, it just lets me get tricks done inside. I've been doing a lot of racing, and the rates that I race with are a lot slower. So trying to go back to freestyle, I want to have that feeling, more accuracy and resolution, but I want to still be able to do really fast tricks. So I'm experimenting with a lot of expo on my rates. I'm trying to push more expo into my freestyle rates to get the middle and the center of the stick more of a slower feel and a more precise feel, so then I can be more flowy. But then if I want to do a nice fast trick or spin or roll or like a Rubik's Cube indoors, I just have to max the stick out and I can still pull those tricks off. And this would be specifically in conjunction with the race rates that I run, trying to get the feel of race rates and a feel of freestyle rates to be really similar, even though the racing rates are a lot slower. Right, I'm switching from this one, which is what I used to do all of my racing this season. It's got like a 45-degree camera angle. And now I'm going to jump onto this one. It's got like a 30-degree angle and 23,000 kV pops instead of 25,000. And it's like a gram heavier. So just want to see how this one does with the different rates. Adjust the rates here too. I was still struggling, like as I was experimenting with more expo, like I want to do the slower tricks, but even I'm so used to just doing a flip or a roll indoors, so I just max out my stick ends no matter what, and I was struggling to still take advantage of the expo, but I could still feel like the starting and the end of the tricks had a nice gradual kind of feel to them. So I do like the concept to have more expo and just smoother rates to try to push more flowiness out of freestyle. My yaw rate is a little bit weird, and that's just because the yaw is on the same stick as throttle, and I want to be able to do like fine-tune throttle control and keep throttle control while yawing, and so I don't want to have to push my yaw stick as much. So by making the yaw much more sensitive, I'm not moving that stick to the left or right nearly as much, which lets me just be more accurate with throttle. I think in hindsight that I would probably not do that if I were to start over, and I would just keep it normal, like as close to default as I could, because it's kind of a pain to remember and set up, and it's probably not very effective, but that's just what I'm used to now, and I can't really go back. Well, speaking of starting over, if I were to start over with rates, I would probably keep them as close to defaults as possible, and also switch to the actual rates instead of BetaFlight rates, because the actual rates are in degrees per second, and that's just makes more universal sense. But I would stick to close to default rates, just because then you could you could pick up other people's quads and fly them easier. It's easier to remember and less to set up and all that stuff. And kind of going back to what I said at the beginning, I mean, if you just pick some rates and stick to them, you're going to get used to them, and muscle memory is going to be based on those rates. So if I was starting over, I would definitely start with more of a default rate, closer to defaults. So hopefully this helps. I get a lot of questions about what my rates are, especially when I post a video flying indoors. So now you know, and if you want to just copy my rates, I'll put them in the description. But take them with a grain of salt. They might be a little bit more adjusted or customized than they should be, but that's where I'm at now. So. Oh, gotta get out of here. Dude's trying to hit me.